Drafted, and then now you're getting ready for Super Regionals.
Thoughts on Super Regionals? I'm dedicated to this team until this season's over with. So, then I'll figure out the rest later. But as of right now, we're looking forward to South Carolina coming in.
What do you think about another matchup with those guys who y'all had a good series with here?
I think it'll be a lot of fun. They're an extremely good team. They've played really well down the stretch. So it'll be a good weekend.
They were the last team and the only SEC team to beat you guys here. What do you remember about that? That 3-2 game, you pitched real well, and it just seemed like Arkansas couldn't get a timely hit with the bases loaded.
Baseball happened that game. That's just it. They played very well that game. I thought we played pretty well that game, except for a timely hit here or there. So it happens and it is what it is. But I don't expect that to happen this weekend.
Were you tracking the draft, or did you just wait for somebody to call you, or how did you find out you'd been picked?
No, I drove back home on whatever day it was, Sunday, I think, and spent down there in Bryant and just hung out with them. And we're keeping up with it. I wasn't trying to watch it a whole lot. I was just trying to just relax and just enjoy it.
You were picked really high, but were you surprised it wasn't a little bit higher? And I think there was 5 SEC pitchers that you guys beat that went ahead of you. I know they don't necessarily draft on that, but did that surprise you a little bit, or is that motivating? Or
nothing surprised me with the draft. The draft I've done it for 2 years now, and it's a crazy thing. When those picks start flying off the board, weird stuff happens. People get picked where they're not supposed to, or higher than they were supposed to, or whatever. So nothing surprised me with it, but I'm happy with where Baltimore took me, and I'm glad they're giving me the opportunity to continue my career.
Distracting at all? You're in the middle of regionals and super regionals to have a draft going on.
I think it distracts you if you allow it to distract you. That's what I think. I'm not distracted. I know the other guys aren't either. We're focused on what's going to come up this weekend, and we'll worry about the rest later on.
What about their lineup? Just kind of what do you remember of South Carolina?
They can hit. They're another very good SEC school. They got a lot of talent. They got Cortez and all those guys. So they can hit, and I think they're going to come out giving us our best shot.
I guess there's 6 SEC teams left, and they're all playing each other. So there's obviously going to be 3 SEC teams going to Omaha. What are your thoughts about how the SEC is doing in the super regions?
They're loaded. That's what I've said all year long. That's what coaches said all year long. This league's loaded, and it doesn't shock me to see how it is right now. So we'll see who rises to the top, and we'll see who gets to Omaha.
What do you think the work Jake Ryan will put in for you guys on Sunday?
Oh, that was huge. Zay didn't have it that day. And that's part of it. And, we needed Rindle to step up, and he stepped up big time for us, gave us 7 innings, and gave us a chance to win.
Dave Van Horn was saying the other day there were times during the year he pulled you out maybe earlier than he could have, and you say, "Hey man, I feel okay, I can still pitch," and he says, "No, we're saving you for later."
Mm-hmm.
And obviously this postseason, in retrospect, do you look back and think what he did was pretty smart?
Yeah, I agree. This whole year, once you get done with a full year, especially going into a postseason like this, everybody's extremely tired, and whether they want to say it or not. And I think saving those innings for later on down the road has helped me out a ton. It helped me out in earlier weeks, and that was just a couple weeks ago, and it's helping me out now. So I think I didn't want to come out, but I respected his decision, and it's paying off so far.
Blaine, you talked about how Isaiah just didn't have stuff on Sunday. How did he act when he got back into the dugout? And then maybe did you have a message for him at all to kind of just, let it shake it off and don't worry about it?
I didn't really say a whole lot to him. None of us really did. He knows. He's a mature guy, and he's a mature pitcher. He just didn't have it, and he came back in, and of course he was disappointed in it and everything else, but he got right back up, and he did what he was supposed to, help the rest of the team win some way, somehow, whether that's picking signs or whatever. So that's what he did, and Zay's going to be fine. I'm not worried about Zay at all.
Dave said that he doesn't mind giving him the ball again. It just was one of those days, and so do you think he's a resilient kid? And, you've got confidence in him?
Yeah, I have full confidence in Isaiah. He's going to be just fine. It was one of those days. It happens. We all run into it every now and then, and he'll be just fine. I'm not worried about him. I'm sure he will get the ball again this weekend.
You're the first of many Razorbacks who've been drafted. Just what do you think that says about the team?
It's a solid program and a solid team, and the coaches prepare us in the best way they can, and it showed so far in the draft this year and previous drafts. These coaches are one of a kind, and they prepare us and get us ready.
What do you thought about Jared Gates? He's having another big postseason just like he did last year. Seems like he turns into Babe Ruth whenever the postseason comes around.
Mr. June, I'm telling you. Now he's a level-headed guy. He's an experienced guy. He's older. He just I mean, people have different times they step up and do good stuff. You know, it just depends on the person and what the situation is. And so far in the past 2 postseasons, he's done it. You know, and I hope he keeps it up because he's been big for us so far.
And it's really, he's had some big hits, obviously, but he's also had some pretty nice defensive plays too. What do you thought about his all-around game?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's an athlete. You know, I mean, he didn't come in as a first baseman. He came in as third baseman. It was pretty athletic. You know, and I remember in the fall when he first came in last year. You know, I thought he was an extremely good fielder. You know, he could hit, he could move pretty well, and so I mean, putting him at first base is just putting a really athletic guy over there that can field and do it all. And you know, he's saved some throws, saved Crummins' pickoff over there the other night, and made some very good plays down the line. It saved a couple of extra base runners and stuff. So I mean, he's been huge for us.
So what does it feel like to be, you know, on the verge of getting a shot to go to Omaha?
You know, it's what we all work for all year long. You know, and that's what I wanted to come back for us. What Shaddy wanted to come back for us. What a lot of us wanted to do this year, and you know, we put in a lot of work to do it. So you know, it's been a lot of fun, and it's starting to pay off.
About a month ago, Dave said something about he had pulled you out of games a little bit earlier this year and told you we might need those innings later on. Can you feel that this time of year?
Yeah, I mean, this is the best I've felt in my career ever. You know, this is the strongest I've ever been. This is the best I've felt this late into the season. And so I feel really good. I mean, was I pretty upset about that when he pulled me and I still could have gone? Yes, but like I said, I respect his decision, and, you know, so far it's paid off.
Is it easier to pitch this time of year than it is when it's cold earlier in the season?
Absolutely. I mean, there's different adversities and different seasons and everything else, whether it's early and late. But, you know, now you got heat instead of cold, but I'd much rather be sweating to death than freezing to death.
Yeah, so some guys who got drafted Monday night were actually playing in regional elimination games. Just as a player, do you feel like, hey, why can't MLB move that thing to Tuesday or Wednesday? Why do they have to have it on a night when guys could be playing? I mean, as a player, do you have any thoughts on that?
MLB is going to do what the MLB wants, you know. So you know, they're gonna do what they want to do, you know. And so it's their decision. I mean, it's their drafts. I mean, they're not going to change it for us. So that's for sure. So if you were playing, you know, it just happened to be it. So, but you know, those guys that were playing, I'm sure they got it relayed to them somehow, some way, and you know, but if they didn't, you know, they found it after the fact. So I'm sure they didn't complain too much.
I know you and James Teague are buddies. Has he talked to you about the Orioles, his experience there? Have you had a chance to talk to him?
I didn't talk to James a whole lot. He texted me after they picked me and told me congrats, and looking forward to seeing me here later on. But he said, you know, go take care of Omaha and get a ring first before we decide to move on any further. And he said, I'll catch you up on the rest when you get down here.
Okay.